Hello. Matthew 1:24 and 25 says, Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife, and knew her not until she brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus. Joseph knocked on the door of Mary's father's house. He steadied his will and reasoned with a churning stomach. He repeated the angel's words, Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Was the nauseated, shivering call fear or courage? He couldn't tell. Mary was legally under his authority, whether she lived with him or not. And though he knew it might be frowned upon, he would take Mary home as his wife. Mary's father let him in. Good morning, Joseph. This is unexpected. Yes, I know. He hesitated for a moment. I've come to take Mary home as my wife. Our betrothal time is nearly over. Our room is finished, and I'm ready. Mary's father chuckled. Mary and her mother appeared from the next room. Her mother was pale, but Mary was suppressing a grateful smile. Well, I suppose it's your privilege and right. He eyed him cautiously. When do you intend her to come? Before the Sabbath. Mary's father opened his mouth to call her, but stopped when he turned and saw her already listening. I'll obey, Father, she said. Joseph could see her relief. There was much they needed to tell each other. Joseph was eager to describe the angel, and now that he believed her, to hear about the angel who had spoken to her. He had questions for her as well. Why was she gone so long at Elizabeth's? When would the baby come? Did she know his name? These things warranted more discussion than a few moments in the doorway would allow, and bringing her to his home was the only acceptable way to do it. Besides, he'd been instructed by the messenger from God himself, and he was glad to obey. In our bright world, blinding lights are never far away. When we think of God's word being a light to our path, we hope for sunlight, street lights, headlights, or spotlights. We want piercing brightness that shine far into the distance so that we can see what's up ahead. But God doesn't promise floodlights blazing into uncertain darkness. If we could see all the obstacles at once, we'd be tempted to wiggle free of our Father's tender grasp and run ahead or run away. To make sure it's easier for us to keep our trembling hands in His, He's given us His word as a lamp, just lighting just the next step in front of our feet. We do well to stay close to Him, listening for the words of caution and direction. He sees the whole way to the end, even though we can't. He told us where He's going. He's bringing us along with Him. He knows how to get there because He is the way. Thank you for Joseph's example of courageous and immediate obedience. Give us the courage to follow your word without delay in the big and small things. Thanks for listening today. See you tomorrow.